So, Dana, with 2 million followers on Instagram, and I think your YouTube is what, 500 something thousand. I'm not sure where that is exactly. How does it feel to become one of the top names in the industry and have such a recognized name and such a big following? How does that feel knowing where you came from? And is it like just kind of blow your mind?
It does. Like I'm sitting here like staring at like muscular development, and I'm like on the cover of it in Power magazine. I have a spread in like Muscle Insight. It's like this girl from Reading, Pennsylvania that used to be so uncomfortable in her own skin and being told no. Like I was just explaining like how many I was just told no, and you're doing it wrong over and over and over again. And it's weird to finally be here. And I think, again, it all goes back to like all my decisions that I did along the way. I stuck to who I was. I stuck to exactly how I felt morally and how I felt about my body. And I think that's honestly why I'm here, is because I was like the dark horse on the outside coming up the ranks. And that's kind of why I continue to do what I do, is I want to just show other people like, hey, you don't need to fit in. You can be told no 1,000 times. I've been told no from every supplement company on the planet. No. And I was just explaining to Claudia, like I won the Olympia and didn't even get my photo taken afterwards. No one even wanted to shoot me after winning the Olympia because they didn't know what to do with me. They're like, well, you have muscles and you don't have boobs, and we're booked up with bikini girls because bikini girls sell, I guess. And I had to like eat that, and you know what? Be like, cool, I'll just prove you wrong. And then honestly, the first magazine cover I was ever on was Mark Bell's Power magazine. He put me on the cover of his Power magazine, and then I think people saw it and they were like, whoa, she can be on the cover. And then Muscular Development put me on, and then I got my own column in Muscular. But it took it was like a year or two after winning, like the year after winning the Olympia. I was already pro. I already was like the first pro ever. And I thought all these doors were going to open up, and no doors opened. They were all closed. Even if I tried to push on them, they were still closed. They were just slamming them in my face. And it's just to show like, just keep going. And even if everyone tells you you're doing it wrong, if it feels right in your heart, you just keep doing you until they finally realize like, hey, this is something, and I am something. And I feel like I proved myself. And you can do things a different way. You don't need to look like everybody else. You don't need boobs to look feminine. You don't need this to win shows. And I feel like I proved it. And it's like, drop the mic. See you later.
Well, you just stayed true, and you proved your yes. You proved the yes, even though there were no's there. And, people love resilience, and they love honesty. And that's some of the things that you have done is honest, your integrity of who you are and what you will do, what you won't do, what you'll accept, what you won't accept, and who you are.
Stubborn. I'm very stubborn.
That's the resilient.
Yes.
Let's use the word resilient. I think that sounds a little bit better.
Yeah. And I'm stubborn.
I love it. So how many years have you guys been married now?
We just celebrated our 15-year wedding anniversary last month. Yeah.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
15
awesome.
years.
And moving into, before we start talking about this awesome horse thing, what do you guys have? Well, do you have anything new coming out that you can share, or are y'all just like overwhelmed with everything right now and loving where you're at, where you don't need anything new besides the horse stuff?
Yeah, I think it's just the horse and getting our little ranch all set up. We have some fencing to do. I mean, as far as like products go, I think our Apex bag was the thing we've been so focused on the most, because it's something so out of the ordinary. It's something different, and it actually looks nothing like anybody else's. When you put it on, you put it on like a vest, and it looks like you have a bulletproof vest on. So it's just like cool looking, and it has all the gear. It has a place for your bear spray. Yeah, that was probably the thing.
I'm sorry, is that for hiking?
Yeah, hiking, running. I mean, you can wear it for pretty much anything. Any kind of, I wear it snowboarding and keep like my GoPro stuff, like extra stuff in there. But yeah, that was probably the product that we were most excited about. And relaunching Run Everything, which we did this year in November or December. Run Everything, it was a brand that we've had, which is our supplement line, we've had for a long time. And we rebranded it for, honestly, for my background of being a strong female athlete. And we wanted a place for females to be recognized and like actually salute them. You can't see. What is that? Oh, I think you're frozen. Oh, there he goes. Oh, yeah, the Anthem collection. That's today.
I wanted to see this bag.
Oh, the Apex bag.
Yeah, it's on here, right?
Yeah, it will be.
Okay. Keep going. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but
oh, no, you're good.
You're looking at building a ranch, which I'm so excited to hear about the horses, because my whole background is horses. I started riding at 3 and showing at 7, and we had our own ranch growing up. My mom was a horse trainer, and so I started doing that when I was young, and so that's my thing. And we're involved in quarter horse showing right now. My husband, he's one of the top trainers in the whole world for what he does in the all around quarter horse events. And I work with him in the business. And I don't have my own horse right now because I lost my last one, and we just haven't gotten another one for me. Yeah, you know, like sometimes the bigger the animal, almost the harder it hits. I don't know what that is, but
I mean, I can imagine.
It was pretty bad, and it was at a horse show too. So, anyways, not to go off on that, but I'm so excited about you riding, because I don't think there's anything else like being involved with horses. It's so special. It's so special. And, you know, the smell of them, the interactions with them. I mean, the riding. And I come from my favorite of all time is jumping, which is speed and accuracy, exactly what you're going into with barrel racing, just a different form of it, but speed and accuracy. So I'm all about that. I'm a adrenaline junkie. Like if I can go over a big jump and go fast, and like, I love it. So tell me where you're at with the horse piece and how that started.
Wow, so exciting, because I just came from seeing Echo. But yeah, so I started finally, I don't know why it took me so long, but we moved here 6 years ago, and I always just wanted to learn to ride horses. Just, it's something I've never been around. I've never had that opportunity, and here I have, there's just opportunity everywhere. And so a year and a half ago, I started taking lessons at a ranch local here. And I think honestly, by our fifth lesson was I scheduled a 3-hour trail ride. And usually you just walk, and she'll take you on the trail, and when you just walk, sometimes you'll trot, but the horses kind of know what to do. And Chanel, who's the trainer, she's younger, our age, and she, I think, knows that I can handle some stuff and I'm not scared. And we got to this open field, and she's like, "Do you want to run?" I was like, "Oh, is that even a question?" Of course. So she told me, she was like, "Okay, we'll just do this. Give him the reins. I'm gonna kick my horse, and you're just gonna go, and you follow me, just steer where my horse is going." I was like, "Okay." So we did it, and it was literally the most exhilarating thing I have ever done in my entire life. And from that day of sprinting on a horse, this wasn't even a canter, it was a sprint.
They have a gallop and they got to run.
Yeah, she was running. And from that point on, I was like, wow,
how do I do that again?
How do I do this all the time?
Yeah.
And my trainer's a barrel racer, so like we go to the rodeos, I watch that, and it happens to be even more than watching the Broncos and the bulls and stuff. I love to watch the barrel racing. It's just the girls are there, they're flying, and it's like turning and hard turns. Like there's a lot of skill that goes in, and I'm very like drawn to that. So I told her, I was like, cool, let's keep doing these lessons until I get good enough. And like, so then maybe I didn't see her for like, it's hard to like schedule, like my schedule, just I'm always away. And I ended up, and I didn't see her for 2 months, and I came back, and this was probably like 5 months ago. And she's like, cool, we're going to do barrels today. I was like, oh my God, really? So, and like her horses are all horses that are very well trained. Most of them have already done barrels or are still doing barrels. So they already know the pattern. They already kind of know what to do. I just have to try to steer them. And yeah, so I did that first time, and I was like, cool, love this. Let's do this full time. So like we just been practicing with that, and I was like, cool, I need to get my own horse. So then that process started maybe 3 months ago, and I finally bought my first horse a month ago.
Congratulations, girl.
It's so amazing. So we're boarding her right now at the place so I can train with my trainer. She does not know barrels yet, so it'll be like good to both learn at the same time. So teaching her, because sometimes when you get a horse that already kind of has what it does, but it might not be what you do. Like, so it's nice that we're just going to learn kind of together. So
how old is the horse?
She's young. She's 5. So I was actually looking a little bit older, but she popped up. She's so pretty. She's beautiful. She's a Palomino paint.
I saw that on your YouTube, on your Instagram. She's beautiful.
Too gorgeous that I was like, cool. Of course, it was like the first horse. Honestly, it probably would have been the first horse. I put a lot of emails in. I'm like on barrelhorseworld.com. I'm on dreamhorseworld.com looking at like I'm on all the sites, and I'm emailing. So she popped up, and I like emailed her, and she was pretty local. She's only like an hour drive from my house. So I was like, cool, I go see her. And I was like, cool, instantly involved. Like,
so did you have your trainer? Because my husband finds horses for our clients, very specific horses that he knows how they've been trained, what the breed and all of that, like very, very specific. So did your trainer go with you to look at her, or did you just go and pick her out yourself and say, I want her?
Yeah, I sort of just went by myself. It's kind of what I knew was going to happen. It's just like when you go and see your first house you ever bought, you're like, I love it. It's perfect.
Right. So has your trainer talked to you about what if she doesn't run?
Yeah, I know. It's all, so I have ran on her. So, but again, if it doesn't happen, like whatever, then I'll find another.
You know what? You'll find it'll evolve for every time. You'll know, okay, I need one that's got this or that, or you'll kind of have an eye. You'll start looking for what you really need as you progress. And then you'll end up with 5 or 6, 10 horses in your barn.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So all the ones I was looking at, so I realized like any horse that kind of already knows barrels or has done barrels, they're like 50 grand easily or above. Yeah. And I was like, this is my first horse. Like, I don't like, let's not get too extreme yet. So she is trained. She just hasn't done barrels. So we're starting off. She's just my starting point. But I feel like there's going to be another one in the future.
It's hard because then you're like, you find this one, that one, and all. Yeah, it's never ending. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome. The horses, there's nothing else. Yeah, if you ever want to talk about horses or have any questions, please feel free to call, ask. You got my number, and you can.
I love it.
No question is a bad question. So
I actually sponsor the local rodeo now too. So I have a banner there. It's and the pickup guys that help the guys like off the Broncos and stuff. They're called like the pickup men. So now when they're announced, it's like the Dana Linn Bailey pickup men are out. Yeah. I'm living out my rodeo dreams before I'm even there. So I have like a banner there.
You know, your clothing line's going to end up with some horse stuff in it.
It's fine. It's fine. It's bound to happen.
Yes, that's awesome. How fun. Well, I can't wait to just watch. Do you have your first rodeo in mind at this point, like far down the road, or you just
it won't probably be till winter. So we still have rodeos. They're indoor then, but there's a really nice indoor rodeo that I also have a banner at. I sponsor that one. So you can probably look, they have all these people like Cowgirl Coffee, this, that, and then it's me in like a sports bra. Like, who is this? Who is Dana Linn Bailey, and why is she sponsoring the rodeo?
Just you wait.
Yeah. Well, hopefully maybe they'll sign up for DLB Daily, and we'll have like all these yacked girls doing barrel racing. Hey, so cool.
The good news with the speed events like that with the horses, it's not just subjective.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to be accurate and you have to be fast, or it doesn't work. Like, exactly. So it's nice for a change.
Yeah, where I'm not relying on if that dude thinks I look feminine or not with boobs or not.
No, right?
Yeah, you know, or he doesn't like my haircut.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't like my abs.
Your abs are way too much.
Way too much.
Yeah, you need one less ab. Oh my gosh. Awesome. Okay, so let's do your rapid fire questions here. Are you ready, Dana?
I am.
Okay, if you could play a superhero role, who would it be?
Oh, wow. I mean, I feel like Wonder Woman needs more muscles, so I'm going to be Wonder Woman.
Okay, we'll go with it. Can you name 3 of the 7 dwarfs?
Sleepy, Sneezy. Oh my God. Holy crap.
Those aren't one of them. Grumpy.
Wow. Grumpy, Sneezy.
I mean, when's the last time you had to think about that, really?
No, never.
Okay, so this might have already been answered in the questions or in the talk, but list one thing that you thought was weird about yourself as a child, but learned to love as an adult.
Weird as a child.
I think you kind of already answered that.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
your legs.
I guess it wasn't weird, but
maybe that's not the right word, but
yeah, more self-conscious was my chest and my legs, and now those are the parts of me that I'm probably the most proud of.
Yeah, isn't that cool? All right, what's your favorite glute exercise? Standard.
Honestly, it's just squats. Yeah, no hip thrusts. I like squats.
Cool. What's your favorite dessert, and do you share?
Occasionally I'll share, only with Rob. But just like a warm cookie with ice cream.
You're like, ooh, sounds good. Okay, if you had to label yourself as an ice cream flavor, which would it be?
Mint chocolate chip.
Ooh, yes.
I don't need to come up with my own flavor. Mint chocolate chip is the best.
I agree. It's pretty good. I like it when they have like the cookie in it too, like the Oreo.
Oh, like the Oreo cookie?
Yeah. Okay. Do cats or dogs have it better, and why?
Dogs. They're just better.
They're just better.
They're just better all around.
If you had to walk in the shoes of a famous bodybuilder for 1 month, who would it be?
Wow. I mean, I guess Arnold. Yeah. Just one. He has such an extreme life and so multifaceted. Definitely Arnold.
Which side of the bed do you sleep on, and who makes the bed, you or Rob?
Oh, I definitely make the bed, and I am on the left side.
So if you're laying on your back.
If I were laying on our back, yeah, I'm on the left side.
You have dogs that sleep with you guys?
Kaya sometimes. Our other dog that passed, he was a burrower. He would burrow underneath. Kaya's like hit or miss. Sometimes she'll sleep with us. Sometimes she wants nothing to do with us.
And what type of dog is she?
She's a pit bull, a little sleepy pit bull.
She's cute. We had a Kaya, Kaya, that was Australian Shepherd. Yeah.
Kaya is Kaia. She was named after Kai Green.
Okay.
Because Kai spells it Kai.
Yeah. Well, then maybe you should be walking Kai Green's.
Yeah. But I feel like I've been around him enough that like I understand him.
Okay.
Plus, he wears too many clothes. He's always covered. We were in Texas, and he had a full sweatsuit on. It was 110 degrees. I don't want to be in that sweatsuit, in that body.
Okay, I agree. All right. List one thing that you would do in your life over, either because you loved it so much and would like to experience it again, or because you would like to do it over and better.
I would like to experience the 𝗦𝗽cie again. Not to like necessarily make it better, but
just
like I feel like back then we didn't celebrate anything. We weren't celebrators, so it's like I won the 𝗦𝗽cie. I was like #1 in the world for something, and like we went back home and just went back to work. I think like now we take time to celebrate small things like anniversaries and that, like we never used to do that. And so like I remember going out to eat, but like we never celebrated that. It wasn't like, so it's weird. I'd like to go back and actually celebrate and make it bigger.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. When I won the 𝗦𝗽cie, it was in Nice, France.
Oh, wow.
And this is a little side note. And so I flew over there. And they only had the fitness 𝗦𝗽cie by itself. Back then, every year it was in a different location. So 95, it was in Atlanta, and then it went to Chicago, and then New York, and then France.
Oh, so yeah. Wow.
So it's different every time. And in 99, it was the first time it went to Vegas in 1999. But in 98, it was supposed to be somewhere else. It wasn't supposed to be in Nice, France. But whatever happened, they had to cancel the fitness portion, and it was in another country. And so they moved it to Nice at the very end, like the last minute, it moved to Nice. And Claudia, I have to show you what she did for me. But they built, the day of the show, they hand built a stage. And so it was like, it wasn't even like a high school stage. It was in some hotel lobby room, and they hand built a stage. So it was like pounding on wood, and it was a green, literally only a green material, like with a little like hanger around us that we could backdrop. There was no signage. There was nothing. And that's what we competed in. We had 2 rounds, physique rounds, and 2 routine rounds. We had 4 rounds back then, right? And so like there was no give on the wood, because I was doing fitness.
Yeah.
It was horrible stage. The worst, you just hear this bang, bang, bang every time you did any kind of movement. And then there was no give. And so that's the one I won, right? Which you can't take the title away, but I literally since 1998 had this poor little picture of me with my 𝗦𝗽cie medal, and it has nothing that says 𝗦𝗽cie around it at all.
You know what? I don't even think mine does either, because they didn't put us on the main stage. We were on we performed at the expo. So it was just the expo stage.
Oh my gosh. So you need to send one of your pictures over to Claudia, because Claudia, I don't know if you have it available, but she created, she took my little 1998, mind you, we just had the little 35 millimeter films. We didn't have digital anything. Yeah. And she gave me a backdrop. She gave me a backdrop behind me. And I'm like, oh, I've never in all these years had something like that showed it was on the 𝗦𝗽cie stage, or even looked 𝗦𝗽cie, other than me holding my medal. But yeah, so I get that. I totally get that kind of like reminiscing, wish you could redo. Like,
yeah,
I was over there. I didn't have any friends, family. My mom came with me, and I had my makeup artist, and that's because I had a sponsor who helped fly them over for me. But, you know, like you said, there wasn't anything afterwards. And I think I did a photo shoot the next day, but, you know, back then it was only fitness anyways. It was bodybuilding and fitness, and that was it. So, but it was really different.
Yeah, I feel like my experience was that they didn't tell us anything either. So I didn't get to experience after winning, like all the winners have like the press meeting. No one told me. Literally no one. This is my first Olympia, so like I don't know what. Yeah. No one told me anything, so I didn't show up for that. Missed that.
Oh my God.
I remember they took a picture of us, so we went to the night show, and I'm in regular clothes, like I washed off because I didn't think I had to be on stage. No one told me that they were going to have all the winners on like the whole experience kind of sucked. Because I remember it sucked because no one told me anything. No one talked to me afterwards. I didn't even really have an interview afterwards. Like the whole experience kind of sucked. And I feel like now that I have a voice, like I'm much more like, hey, you should be doing this, or I would probably be more proactive of finding things out. Before I was just like a little kid, like I don't know where I'm at, like, this is my first time here and I won it. Like I don't know what happens. Yeah, no one told me anything. And so I was at the night show and they're like, someone told me like, hey, you need your medal and your suit. Like, where's your suit? I'm like, what are you talking about? And then I had to leave the show, go run back. So I was like stressed out. So I'm on stage looking pale white versus everyone has their tan on and stuff. It's like just the experience. I would like to re-experience it, make it better, and then also celebrate.
Yeah. Aww. Well,
I know.
Here's
celebrate again.
That makes me sad for you, but I still get it. I do get it. I know, right? Just wear it every day. I think you should wear it when you're doing your barrel racing now.
Yeah, it sucks that like that was the best thing I've ever done in my entire life, and it wasn't even like a great experience afterwards. Like no photo shoot, no interviews. Like it's weird. It's so weird.
You know, I bet you anything if we talked to, you know, a handful of the other women along the way over the years, there'd be plenty of these kind of stories along the way that would be like, man, it's crazy how it could be such a big thing, but yet they, you know, because people just don't honor it or honor that placing or whatever, like they can just ruin it for somebody, right?
Yeah, it really did. Or they're just focused on like the men's open, I guess. I don't know.
Well, you don't need all of that. Like it's like,
I know.
Yeah, right. But I do have a heart for you because I know my little journey there too was kind of similar.
Yeah,
the forgotten fitness Olympia. Oh, here's a funny story. I'm sure you know 𝗬𝗱𝗱, right?
Yes, I have so many of those.
Okay, well, funny story is 1995. I do a photo shoot, and I did a photo shoot to help him. Part of one of my pictures ended up in his first like calendar for 𝗬𝗱𝗱 weight belts. So he made me one. It's sitting over here. I'm not going to grab it right now, but it's black and it says Mo on it. And he made that for me after the photo shoot as a thank you. So fast forward, that's 1995. Fast forward to last summer, maybe, I guess, maybe it's almost a year ago. He said, yeah, he would do an interview with me. So we were on here for almost 2 hours talking. It was awesome because we kind of started at the same era. And he told me how my helping him, because my name was kind of getting out there at the time. He said it had helped kind of lift his calendar because he got to use my name being in the calendar. And so he thanked me and all that. Well, then we were talking about all his belts. And I said, and he made a comment. He goes, well, all Olympia champions get a free belt. And I'm like, well, can I send my belt to you and have you add like Fitness Olympia champion to it? Because I never got one, right? And he didn't really hear what I said. He goes, oh, well, you know, yeah, I could probably make you something because you're a pro. And I'm like, and I heard what he said, and I go, Steve, I said, I won the Fitness Olympia. I said, and I, you know, kind of brought my medal. And he's like, you did? I'm like, I did. He goes, how did I miss it? He goes, what year? And I'm like, 1998. I'm like, I've been missing a belt since back then. And he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, I didn't even know. He felt bad because he's like, one of my favorite, beginner fitness girls and, from the beginning. And I didn't even know. And so we talked about this being a thing. And I think he felt really bad about it. And then, kind of making it sound like, well, you're a pro, I could probably do something. But he said, I can't go back on a belt and put anything on it. I think that was his way of saying, well, you're not an Olympian athlete, right? Olympian. And so, mind you, go forward, a couple months, he remembered that I liked Tweety Bird.
Oh my God.
And he knew how much I liked white. And then he sent this in the mail for my birthday.
Oh, Steve.
Last year. And it was so sweet. I mean, to me, that was like winning the Olympia, like to have, something of that specialness, right?
Yeah.
It was cool. I was like, oh, anyways, my little heart story there.
Best. Yeah, I have so many belts from him. He's been we actually did a Flagner fail. We did like a collab with him and
cool.
Cardillo belts, but then he put Flagner fail in it, and we sold them on our site. Yeah,
that's awesome. He's good people.
He is.
So it's so exciting to hear all the things you've got going on, and I appreciate you sharing all these awesome things with me. Okay, so Dana, we've got to probably wrap this up because I think you and I could probably just keep on rolling and talking about all these things, and we'll get back to horses, and then So just real quick, put it out there where how people can get hold of you one more time, and any closing statements for our viewers or any motivational tips that you want to share for somebody that maybe you didn't get to yet.
I love it.
So, want to emphasize.
Yeah, I think the easiest thing is I'm most prevalent on Instagram. So Daylin Bailey, pretty much everything is Daylin Bailey, YouTube, Facebook. My thing I'm most proud of and what I'm focusing on is DLB Daily. So for anyone that is beginner to advanced, just take some of the guessing work out, take having to even think about what to train in the gym and let me do it. dlbdailyapp.com, and yeah, let's make muscles together. I love it.
Ooh, I like that. That's fun. Hey guys, if you've enjoyed the 𝗦𝗽liche Brant Show, don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and if you have any ideas or suggestions for the show, comment below and I'm happy to get back to you.